Hillary Clinton's campaign is riding high after her debate performance in Vegas, but Bernie Sanders' surge, the email investigation, and a possible Joe Biden run still looming. This is Special Report. Good evening, welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. Hillary Clinton did nothing to jeopardize her front-runner status during last night's first of the campaign Democratic debate. What was billed as a clash between the 5 declared candidates was essentially a one-on-one between Clinton and primary challenger Bernie Sanders, while the threat from Vice President Biden's possible entry may be starting to fade. Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry has tonight's top story from Henderson, Nevada.
As a pumped-up Hillary Clinton thanked supporters at a debate watch party late into the night, her aides in Las Vegas were giddy that even some Republicans quickly declared her the winner of the Democrats' first clash.
We're gonna win!
One notable dissenter today appeared to be Vice President Joe Biden, who was either just trying to stay neutral or was raining on Clinton's parade with a lukewarm grade.
I was proud I thought they all did well.
Yet top Clinton advisors told Fox immediately after the debate they now see no credible path into the race for Biden. One aide bluntly saying this was clearly the best day of what has been a shaky campaign. They privately admit another Clinton stumble after months of sliding polls over her email controversy would have panicked her fundraisers and other allies and opened the floodgates for a Biden rescue mission.
She obviously performed well last night in a debate against a bunch of people that obviously are not up to the presidential level.
A reminder that the rest of the field struggled to look presidential, so Clinton took a giant step toward locking down her party's nomination by dwarfing the others. Democratic Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders repeated that he basically does not believe in capitalism, while former Virginia Senator Jim Webb opened the door to illegal immigrants getting Obamacare.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Clinton also continued to move left on policies to help in the primaries, though her explanation for flip-flops may sting in a general election.
If you are learning, you're going to change your position. I never took a position on Keystone until I took a position on Keystone.
Then there are her trust issues, more easily sidestepped when she's among Democrats.
The American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails.
Thank you. Me too. Me too.
And Republican Kevin McCarthy's comments on the Select Committee on Benghazi are the gift that keeps on giving for Clinton.
That this committee is basically an arm of the Republican National Committee.
Yet an FBI investigation of Clinton's email setup is still looming for the primaries and the general election, and the questions of trust remain. Asked in a new Fox poll if Clinton has been honest on the events surrounding Benghazi, 32% say yes, 60% no.
Benghazi emails, all that will be brought up by the Republicans and run against her in questions of her questioning her trust and honesty. But right now, I can guarantee you that the Republicans going to have a bunch of problems too.
Now, Clinton's strong debate performance led some top Democrats to privately muse that the DNC never should have limited the number of debates in the first place. If Clinton, like the Republicans, had started debating back in August, she might not have had such a brutal summer. Brett?
Ed Henry, live in Henderson, Nevada. Ed, thanks. Republicans are predictably trashing last night's debate for failing to hold Clinton's feet to the fire on a number of points. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron has that part of the story tonight.
Republicans could not wait to condemn Democrats for last night's debate. Ted Cruz focused on Bernie Sanders' socialism and Hillary Clinton's big government.
Last night was an audition for who would wear the jackboot most vigorously. Last night was an audition for who would embrace government power to strip your and my individual liberties.
Jeb Bush suggested Clinton's rivals covered for her by downplaying her email scandal.
I thought it was interesting that they didn't go after her, particularly on the email issue, because, look, there's an FBI investigation. She hasn't been forthcoming. That's a national security question. Put aside the legalities of this. It's clear that the Russians and the Chinese were trying to hack into her server.
Like her or not, Donald Trump said Clinton prevailed.
I think she did her job. I think she got through the debate. I personally thought she won the debate. I thought Bernie was off. He was not doing so well. I thought that the other people shouldn't even be up there, to be honest with you.
It was basically a liberal versus liberal debate about who was going to give away the most free stuff.
It's no secret Democrats think Marco Rubio could be a formidable foe. And Bill Clinton last spring reportedly urged his wife's team to destroy Rubio before he gets off the ground.
Well, I anticipate that's what they're specialists at. The Clinton campaign and the Democratic Party are specialists at the personal destruction of individuals. They've done this for years.
Dr. Ben Carson has walked back his assertion in support of the Second Amendment that Hitler's mass murder of differently had the public not been disarmed by the Nazis. In a Jerusalem Post op-ed, he wrote, quote, "I never intended for my words to diminish the enormity of the tragedy or in any way to cause any pain for Holocaust survivors or their families." Rand Paul, struggling to qualify for the next primetime GOP debate, streamed his campaign day live on the web yesterday and got annoyed by a particular question he gets a lot of lately.
The third question, most popular question from Google is Rand Paul still running for president? And I don't know, I wouldn't be doing this dumbass live streaming if I weren't. So yes, I still am running for president. Get over it. Where is Rand Paul in the polls? This is not live. We can't edit this, right?
Tomorrow, the candidate's third quarter fundraising numbers will become public. Jeb Bush has just let us know that he plans to do a lot more than just put that out. He's going to give a complete list of his bundlers, big donors, also his 2014 tax returns and his medical records. This is about transparency, and you can expect that tomorrow he'll be making references to Hillary Clinton and what he says is her lack of it. Brett.
Back to Rand Paul and that backlit live stream in a motel parking lot. That was
not smart, and you know, making lemonade out of lemons. You can now get a $20 Rand Paul T-shirt that says, "I watched Rand Paul's live stream, and all I got is this dumbass T-shirt." So there you go.
All right, it's cable. Carl, thanks. A Pentagon official is reporting progress tonight from a third session aimed at avoiding any conflicts between the U.S. and Russia in the airspace over Syria. Also today, a U.S. official confirms to Fox there is evidence Cuban paramilitary and special forces units are on the ground in Syria. The latest Fox News poll indicates 61% of those surveyed believe U.S. national security is at stake in Syria, but only 20% think President Obama has a clear strategy in the conflict. President Obama may be reconsidering the commitment to get all but a relatively few American troops out of Afghanistan. Correspondent Doug McKelway at the Pentagon tonight says conditions on the ground may force a change in plans.
The tweet from the editor of the respected military blog The Long War Journal was unusually blunt. Quote, "How the hell does al-Qaeda operate two camps, one that is 30 square miles inside Afghanistan, if it is a spent force?" It was a reference to a major operation this month by U.S. Air and Special Forces, as well as Afghan ground forces against two al-Qaeda training camps. One of the camps outside Kandahar, an area half the size of Washington, D.C.
This was a significant security development. These were two huge terrorist camps within Taliban territory. Material to make IEDs was found, anti-aircraft weapons, machine guns. Now, this confirms recent reports that there is a larger al-Qaeda presence in Afghanistan, and they're more spread out across the country than at any time since 2001.
U.S. military headquarters in Afghanistan spoke glowingly of the operation, quote, "one of the largest joint ground assault operations we have ever conducted in Afghanistan, a testament to the professionalism and expertise of our Afghan partners." But the ramped-up pace of U.S. operations presented a stunning contrast to what President Obama promised last March.
We've been able to draw down and remove ourselves from a combat role, as President Ghani indicated, without collapse, as was predicted.
Faced with al-Qaeda's stubborn resurgence in Afghanistan, the president has been forced to slow the pace of his troop drawdown, still holding to plans that only a skeletal U.S. force of 1,000 would remain to guard the embassy when his presidency is over. But today, even that hope faded. The New York Times reporting the president is considering a force of up to 5,000, even after 2016.
Timeline for when he's going to make a decision?
Not one that I have to announce here.
The president's concession to facts on the ground in Afghanistan comes as a new Fox poll shows Americans remain concerned about his leadership on foreign policy, with 52% finding him weak and indecisive, compared to 32% who find him strong and decisive, down 2 points from last year, down 10 points from 2 years ago.
There have been over 300 airstrikes thus far this year in Afghanistan, evidence that major combat operations are far from over. Brett?
Doug McKelway, live at the Pentagon. Doug, thank you. So what do you think? Do you think the U.S. should have more or fewer troops in Afghanistan now? Let me know at facebook.com/BrettBairSR or on Twitter @BrettBair. You can use the hashtag Special Report. Up next, political correctness in the battle against domestic terrorism. We'll explain. First, here's what some of our Fox affiliates around the country are covering tonight. WSVN in Miami as a small plane crashes into a mobile home park, killing the pilot and a 21-year-old woman inside one of the structures. Heard yet on what caused that crash. The plane was flying from Orlando to nearby Lantana. Fox 11 in Los Angeles with the City Council's consideration of a proposal to impose fines or shut off water to residents who continue to use it excessively. News reports say one Bel Air homeowner used almost 20 gallons of water in a recent year, enough for 90 households. California is in the midst of a severe drought. And this is a live look at St. Louis and the Mississippi River from Fox 2. The big story there tonight, a very weak grade for the mighty Mississippi. A study gives the river a D+, citing pollution, flood control, and the poor conditions of the locks and dams throughout the river basin. That's tonight's live look outside the Beltway from Special Report. We'll be right back.